Hi everyone, it's me TJ, and I've got a very, very special guest with me today. We're on a live business call, I don't really want to call it like a conference, and we've got about 30 seconds left. And Rebecca here comes on the call and says, I help people dress for success, really going to help them, like whether it be Zoom interviews, going for face-to-face, because let's face it now, with news of this vaccine, looks like face-to-face is coming in next year. And as soon as Rebecca said that we had 30 seconds left, jumped straight in there and said, look, Rebecca, I have to get you on this podcast. I have so many people you can help. Because let me tell you guys, look, so many of you do these interviews, you come back to me and say, look, TJ, I didn't get it, or something happened. And what are you wearing? A pair of jeans and a t-shirt. What you need is something that's really going to make you stand out. You do all these websites, you do all this crazy stuff, and you want to go to Silicon Valley. If everyone else is wearing t-shirts and jeans, how are you going to stand out? And I honestly tell you, a suit. So who better to tell you this than the expert, Rebecca? So please go ahead. I'd love you to introduce yourself. Tell us more about it.
Thank you. Thank you, TJ. I'm so pleased to be here talking to you and as a result, all of your followers, because I love helping people with this. It is such a joy and a pleasure for me. I had a client say that working with me was just like being one of those makeover TV shows. And I love the most after I've worked with somebody when they call me back and say, I got the job or the promotion or I started the business or I got the girl, whatever it is. Because I have a lot of men that come to me after they get divorced. And I always think, well, gosh, why didn't you dress for the woman you had? Now you've got to do that all over again.
It's true. Dress for success, isn't it? That's the important thing. Make a statement. Stand out from the crowd.
All areas of your life. And I really want people to understand that my approach to this is based in the data and in the science. And I'm going to assume, since a lot of your people are in the tech world and you're building sites and creating apps and you're making, user experience and you're doing all the things so that people will want to look at your work and consume your work and take it in and ask for more. So I'm really going to be suggesting that they use the ideas that they use in their everyday life and their work to apply them to themselves. Not because I think shopping is fun or clothes are fun, which I do, but because we are human animals and our brain has been keeping us going for the millennia, and it does it in a very specific way. And I think you've probably, TJ, heard the quote, you have 7 seconds to make a first impression. Have you heard
Absolutely.
that?
I've seen it. You go in there for the interview. I've always been like you, always wear a suit. And I've been out there in the lobby and I've seen 5 or 6 people, jeans and a t-shirt. I was the one who got the job. They never got the phone call back. What was it? It was like 7 seconds that went in there and said, wow, dressed.
Well, the bad news is 7 seconds is way too generous.
That
is absolutely not held up in the data. So last year, Princeton University released their research that it's actually 1/10 of a second.
Jeez,
that's 130 milliseconds where, and they were completely disheartened by this data. They were trying to figure out how to take bias out of the job interview process. And they were like, listen, the process is full of bias. Buy the best suit you can possibly afford, because what they did is they took photos of people on various levels of quality of garments, some in suits, some casual, and then they moved the faces around. So they would say, put your face on a photo of somebody in a, moderately priced garment.
Yeah.
And then put your photo on an image of you in a quality garment. And right, same face, same picture. And the people in the study judged the photo where you were wearing the more luxurious, more quality garment. They judged you as more competent.
It's like a no-brainer.
No words, no video. They saw that, and in 130 milliseconds, they decided you were more competent when you were in the more quality garment. Again, the researchers, they were very upset with their findings. They were really, really disheartened. They were like, you should not interview people in person. You should just do it over the phone, because your bias is not controllable, basically. So there was another study. This is what I do in my free time for fun. I read scientific studies.
People here are going to love it because everyone's numbers people here. Not for me. Everyone else, like, I need to see the numbers. So this is brilliant.
Good. So there was a study done at Duke University where they were sending people, in for job interviews, and half of the group was clued in, like, you should dress up, and the other half was not at all. This is very subtle. And not only did the group that dressed up, have a better interview experience, but the point is, dressing for success works on your brain just like it works on everybody else's, because the people who dress for the interview ask for more money, ask for a better title, ask for better benefits. They were better advocates for themselves when they were more properly attired than the folks who came just in their average everyday wear. So it's not
I've heard
just
of something about
about
this, where they had there was a study. They had some school children. They got them to wear lab coats when doing exams, and they said they found out, I've forgotten the percentage, it was something like 13 or 20% better because they felt smarter in the lab coat. And I agree with what you're saying, because if I do an interview, even this, I'm wearing a shirt. I'm guilty. I'm not wearing a suit. But I know, like you say, if I go in there wearing a suit, I'm going to feel 10 times more confident. You're going to set an impression, something. They're going to see you and go, this person is dressed for success. They got it. And you're going to feel amazing. I mean, it can't beat that.
Yep. I have another study. I'll not bore you with the details, but they found that people who wore suits and then were given cognitive tasks did better at creative thinking and creative problem solving than people who were not. And they associate it with this sense of power and confidence that comes from wearing a suit. So again, that was in a journal, psychology journal. And it's just incontrovertible.
You're preaching to the crowd here. This is amazing.
You have total control. Like, if you had to turn in a printed prospectus or project, if you had something you had to print and turn in, do you just throw it in a pile? Do you just staple the corner? Or do you get a nice binder or folder and turn it in that way? Why? Why would you do that? If you spilt coffee on it on the way in, or tea, you're in the UK, would you just be like, well, whatever, it's still good information, judge the information, don't judge how it looks? No, you would reprint it and turn it in a nice, clean copy, because we are human animals and we react to that. It's not this is not Mean Girls. This is not judgy. This is our animal brain doing what it does, thin slicing. That's how it's kept us alive,
It's
and we can
science.
use it to our advantage.
Exactly. This is the line I love, unfair advantage. And this is what I try to say to everyone, especially in tech. If everyone else is turning up in t-shirts and jeans, you turn up in an amazing looking suit, I can pretty much guarantee they're going to remember you. And I think that's the best thing, remembering the candidate's face. Because in a sea, I say the sea of average CV, average confidence, average skills. I can tell you now, a suit is probably your unfair advantage. The one thing, if no one else is going to do it, it's just wear a suit. It's going to...
And no one's stopping you.
No.
Nobody is stopping you. And what you communicate when you show up, as you're saying, jeans and t-shirt, is I'm expendable. I'm replaceable. I'm no more or less valuable than anybody else. Why would that be your message? One of my favorite quotes is, a man cannot get dressed, but his ideas get clothed at the same time.
I like that one. That's a good one.
So that book is Tristram Shandy. Guess when that book was published?
I was going to say it's quite a while, about 18 something.
1759.
Oh, wow.
So we humans, we know about this. We know it works. We know how it works. There was a study done at Yale where they had, again, guys dress suits, business casual, and sloppy. You would never do this, especially in the UK. But and then they played a game where they had to make deals and earn profits. The guys that were in suits made $2.1 million. The guys who were in business casual, 1.58. And then, of course, the sloppy guys did poorly. They did 680. But for people who want to say, oh, I can't afford to dress for success. Well, you're paying a price now, my dear, a high price.
Yeah, exactly. I'm quite guilty. When I used to go out for suits, would go for the cheapest thing. And I appreciate with lockdown, I'm going to be, for the men on this call, we may have put on a few pounds. I'm in need of a suit myself. I'm dealing with some stuff recently. So perfect person to speak to. This is where it came up. I'm thinking in my mind, look, I need a suit. Let me speak with the experts. And seeing my friend in a tailored piece, I was just blown away. Like even he said, I think that got me was the cost. And I went, it's only that much? And I was like, wow, this is not bad. And I went, you look like a different person. And I think the big thing, I'm going to go on a tangent here because I know you touched on this as well, was I say for a lot of the guys in tech as well, is usually there's two people in that interview. Maybe you might have another tech person who's in the t-shirt and the jeans. If you're interviewing with me, that's probably going to be me. More than likely, you're also going to have a business person there. The reason I've usually done quite well is because when you have another business person there, you have to impress them. And if they're used to seeing a suit, tie every single day, and you're setting up in jeans and a t-shirt, tech guy might get on all right with you. But you've got another gatekeeper. Impress them. Make yourself memorable. I think you and I, we're preaching to the crowd here, but I can't stress enough to people and saying, look, this is a simple, unfair advantage. You put on a suit, you're going to feel amazing. You're going to feel, how much money are you leaving on the table? If you can go in there and say, hey, I want another £10,000 or $15,000, $20,000 more, and they're going to remember you like, hey, who's that? Remember him in that suit? Like everyone else there in t-shirts. You might have Rick and Morty or whatever on there, but you in that amazing suit. They're going to go, wow, they're going to memorize you. They're going to remember this candidate.
Absolutely. It's that clip I sent you from RuPaul talking about his master class. He says, you want money? Wear a suit. It has nothing to do with you. It's the narrative in people's heads. It's the assumption of success on your part. And back to your friend's tailored suit. And I'll tell you more about that. But they did a study in the UK and Turkey, men and women. They showed them a photo for 3 seconds.
Okay.
Of a guy in a made to measure, and a guy in a very similar off the peg. Face was blocked out for 3 seconds. The people picked the guy in the made to measure not because he was best dressed. What they said about the guy after 3 seconds, no face, just the clothes, they said that he was more confident, a higher earner, more flexible, and
sorry, we didn't catch that last one. What was the last one?
More successful.
Oh, perfect. That's what you want.
Confident, higher earner, and flexible. I don't know what flexible has to do with any of that, but I sure as heck get confident, successful, higher earner.
Those ones there, like you said, it just blows my mind. Again, if you're even thinking, I don't need a suit, why bother? This is useless. You're leaving so much on the table. I think that's obviously we heard on that business school, so much we were told, how much am I leaving on the table right now? And that famous line, be obsessed or be average. And I say, with everyone in a sea of average, it takes so little to stand out. Once you stand out, it's unbelievable. But I think an important thing now, because we're saying with 2021, we think the vaccine is going to come out and more face-to-face. I'm a bit of an extrovert, so for me, I love it. Lockdowns are horrible for me. But with that, does it also work with Zoom calls? I mean, that's the important thing. If I buy a suit, am I still going to look as good on a Zoom call as I would in person?
Yes. So here's what I'm doing with a lot of my clients. So number one, you can buy the traditional suit.
Yeah. What
a lot of my guys are doing, especially because it's getting a little more casual. Obviously, they're not going to wear a 3-piece suit on Zoom.
Yeah.
But what guys are doing is changing up the cloth. So they're still getting the sport coat cut, but they're getting it in a knit, or maybe they're getting it deconstructed or partially lined. So it's not quite as stiff, and it's something that is more comfortable to wear at home. It's great to travel in. It doesn't wrinkle. So you can still have that silhouette. You can still trigger in other people's brain success, confidence, higher, all those things.
Yeah.
And you just by shifting the cloth, the material, then you are getting more into that casual, which, you don't want to go somewhere where everybody is in jeans and t-shirt and a 3-piece suit, but you do want that jacket. No question.
Perfect. So I think that's the important thing as well. Everyone thinking again, I'm not going to need it till face-to-face. Well, even on Zoom interviews like we're doing now, if you got someone on there, stand out. I mean, that's where I found out my mistake. I had a very important call, and here I am in a shirt because I've put on too much weight, but it's like even trying to find, it blows my mind. It's the unfair advantage. You're going to feel good. You're going to feel amazing.
Absolutely.
And you're going to command more as well. You're going to feel the business, as they say.
Listen, I have my 4-inch high heels on right now. Like, you're obviously not going to see that, but I put on my best perfume. You're training yourself just as much as you're training other people. And especially I would say to guys who are going on interviews, I shared with you that my blog post and the clip from the movie Three Kings, where George Clooney is actually not talking about fashion, so he could. He's talking about courage, and he's explaining to one of the guys before they go in to steal the gold. First you do the thing, then you get the courage. Well, it's the same with success. First you wear the suit, then you get the position, the title, the money, all the things. But it happens in that order.
And now we know as well, in like hardly any time at all, you've got literal milliseconds of you saying that first impression. Because this is the thing I think other people don't forget as well. It's not just the interviewer for you, but it's other people around you, because they'll ask as well. A good interviewer will ask the receptionist. And usually one of the comments is, you've always come in very well dressed.
Absolutely.
First thing you know, very well dressed.
Absolutely.
And next thing, we like the suit. We always like, it's just the little things like that just add up. And again, unfair advantage. If not, do what everyone else isn't doing. If everyone else is jeans and I've heard people brag about, I turn up in jeans and a t-shirt. And then we finally had a conversation about salaries. And there was about a £20,000 difference between it. Those of us in suits and those who didn't. Oh, but that's unfair. I said, well, you should have brought a suit.
And it's so interesting. Grant Cardone, who we both follow, very successful. He always says that you don't actually necessarily know who the decision maker is. So maybe you went in and interviewed with the guy, but there's a longtime employee. Maybe it is the secretary. Maybe it's somebody else. And if you didn't make a good impression on that person and you don't get that person sign off, they'll go to the next candidate. I also shared with you the clip of Grant speaking with Ryan Serhant. I don't know if you know the show $1 Million Listing. I don't know if you have it in the UK.
I want to check out.
It's a really good show. But it's about the top brokers, the top real estate brokers in New York and LA. So this guy's a top broker in New York, and he has a book, and he's really making the rounds now, really catapulting him into success. He's 34, and he has had billions of dollars in transactions, talking to Grant Cardone, who's raised billions of dollars. And they are talking about what they wear and why. And Ryan says, I just think it's a matter of respect. It's me showing respect for you. I don't love wearing a suit and tie. I didn't put that on because that's my favorite thing, but I am showing respect for you. And the designer Tom Ford said, dressing well is a form of good manners. So you are constantly communicating. You are constantly branding yourself. And if you want to know what your brand is, listen to how your friends introduce you. Do they say,
"Oh, this is,
this is my friend TJ. He reaches, thousands of people working on him. He's working on reaching 1 million people with skills and training that will give them a bright future." However they introduce you. I mean, think of like you're at a pub with friends and how you refer to people in the crowd. If you're like, oh, look at that super tall guy, or look at that crazy sweater girl.
Yeah,
they've branded, that is their brand. That's how obviously the tall guy just came that way, but we're always presenting our brand. So you might want to check in.
I've never thought about it that way. It's something. It's almost like mind-changing things. You think, well, how am I going to stand out? How are they going to point me out? And I don't want to put money on the fact. I know we mentioned about like the secretaries or the receptionist. Normally, one of the big things, a good interview is going to go around to, what do you think of the candidates? Because so many times you do story, they're so rude to them, and then we never hired him because he was so rude. But the other thing is, you look good. Who's that gentleman there in a suit? You're gonna stand out, and this is what I try to say. How much money are you leaving on the table here? Because people say, oh man, what could I do with $10,000 extra? And you're going, well, just pick up a suit. Might cost you, people say, oh, but I can't afford. There's a credit card, there's PayPal credit. I mean, there's so many, don't borrow, don't steal it, but it's like, there's so many ways you can sort stuff out.
Listen, if you, for a month or 2 months, instead of going to the pub every night, you took that money and put it in a jar, or somewhere, and you did that every night for however many weeks it took until you had the money to go buy the suit that is going to get you that gig, that high paying gig, is that a worthwhile investment? Weeks. You could do it in weeks. And I would also ask you to consider, if you do that and you get that higher paying gig, are you going to go back to that schlumpy bar, that pub, or are you going to start going to nicer places now?
I think we're talking, this is life changing at this point now. Even I'm thinking like, hey, after this call, I'm getting a whole new wardrobe.
It is life changing. And I know people want to think like, no, I would never judge somebody that way. It's not you. No. This is very important. It's not you, your personality. It's not you, TJ. It's not me, Rebecca. Like my personality, I like pink. Like that's my personality. But my brain is doing that thing it's been doing for thousands and thousands of years that has kept us alive as a species. This person, yes or no. That person, yes or no. That person, yes or no. Do I want to be close? Do I want to be around them? Do I want to stand next to them? Do I want their mojo on me? It's not unkindness. Now, it can be. It can be taken that way. But, you know, one of my clients, what he noticed when he started wearing the custom clothes I get for him is he doesn't like going to networking events. He feels awkward and uncomfortable. And what he found is when he went in my custom clothes, people would approach him and would say, oh, I love, you know, and it made it so easy for him. Because then he was like, okay, off to the races, happy to, you know, he's actually a very gregarious, talkative person. But that initial like, oh, who do I talk to? What do I, what?
Yeah,
that's
especially
where
for
he got
introverts
stuck.
and always networking events, these conferences. I mean, there's so many tech conferences. Wouldn't you rather be, you're probably going to stand out in a suit, but hey, I'd rather be that guy who's standing out. And you don't have to say anything. You don't have to go, hi, my name's, you know, a bit shy and timid. In fact, your line, I loved it, was look like the person who owns the bank, not the one who needs the loan from it. And that for me, look, someone's here, if you watch Wolf of Wall Street and stuff like that, you know, you've seen it. Deep down, you want a bit of that. You want to be a bit of the person who walks in there, all eyes are on you, like you're worth $1 million. And I can imagine a suit like that, you're walking in there, every eyes are on you. Everyone wants to know, who's this person? They are dressed for success, dressed to the nines. Like, you want to know that person.
And the thing is, even if it's like kind of a more casual type of environment, like what we do with my company, is we have very fine cloth. So you can still get 5-button, 5-pocket pants, but made out of Trofeo wool or linen, or cashmere blend. So you can speak quality in the fabric, even if you're in a casual environment. Number one. And number two, the other thing is, while the brain tracks and notices and reacts to quality, it does not track variety. So this is not like, well, I have 20 shirts in my closet. I can't replace 20 shirts with custom made, made to measure shirts. You don't need 20 shirts, number one. If you cut that number in half, or even just cut it down to 5 quality shirts, and then one suit, and then you wear the jacket with a t-shirt and jeans one day, or the slacks with just a jumper. You can mix and match it, but what you are always doing, what people will always say, oh, there goes TJ, that guy's always so well dressed. They're not going to notice, like, I think you wore that jacket twice this week. The brain does not, or those slacks or whatever, the brain doesn't track that. Because what the brain is looking for is consistency. So if you are, in sweats one day and then a suit the next, you're triggering other people's brain to be like, whoa, what's going on here? What am I supposed to do with it? Where do I fit him in?
Yeah.
And it's triggering is not what you want here. What you want is smooth and consistent, because then what people will start pulling for you. Like, that guy's always best dressed. He's going places. Oh, he got that promotion. I saw it coming, because they did see it coming, because you presented the image. So it was easy for their brain There was no cognitive dissonance. Think about all these rom-coms where the storyline is girl leaves the cute, adorable, immature guy for the slick, well-dressed, pompous, Why does that storyline always work? Why does the girl go for the well-dressed, well-presenting person? Because we are human animals, and our brain says that's consistent, that's reliable, that's successful. If I go there, it won't be disruptive.
And this is what you want. Again, we're screaming here, like everyone who's thinking, I don't need it. Unfair advantage, because here's the other thing I don't think people realize enough is you never know who you're going to meet. I know we talk about networking events, but the amount of times you could be in offices, there's a true story. I was pulled aside because I used to wear like this, business casual. I'm talking it business casual, not even a suit. I was the one pulled in for the high ticket clients. Why? Because I was dressed. This person in a 3-piece suit, I was the only one there not wearing a t-shirt and jeans. They could pull aside and go, hey, go over there and go help them. And like, what did that lead to? More promotions, more success, more opportunity. You were suddenly up there with the big leagues. You want that promotion. Hey, this might be the best. Turn up on Monday in a suit and watch the difference, right? Everyone in t-shirt and jeans.
People are going to guess. Oh, do you have people are only going to guess good things are happening to you. Exactly. You're dressed better than normal. Something good is in your horizon. Nobody ever says, oh, you're well dressed. Oh, do you think you're going to get laid off? That's never happened. And think if you've ever been upgraded on a flight, when we can fly again.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be nice. But now we know. Wear a suit.
Will not upgrade you. Even if you can afford it, they will not upgrade you over somebody who is dressed for it.
I think now we've pretty much sold everyone. If you're still thinking now and having a look on like eBay or somewhere cheap for a suit, Rebecca, how can people get in touch? Because you're the expert here. I want them to come to you because look, I'm going to be in touch soon. I'm going to need a whole new wardrobe after this.
Absolutely. So we are a fully digital direct-to-consumer men's custom clothing company. Perfect. So I serve my clients anywhere in the world. I can do the measuring, everything. And it's so much fun. And then we personalize everything down to you get to pick your buttons or not. You can just have me do it, whatever's most easy.
Even better, like one less thing. If you're like me, like many others, you're like, you mentioned buttons. If we're going to stop, leave it to the expert. I think you're going to be in good hands here. Already you can tell. So.
I'll do this. RebeccaJohnson.jhilburn.com. I'll send you my information.
Perfect. I'll make sure everyone can see that.
U.S. cell phone 305-803-3355. Call, text. I look forward to speaking with you all. It would be my true pleasure to help you.
Perfect. So now bear that in mind. If you want that unfair advantage for pretty much any interview, Zoom, in person, 2021, you want to make that your big year, get in touch with Rebecca. This is probably going to change your life. I'm definitely going to be in touch. We're going to end this now because I think I'm going to now book in my next suit because I think I need a new wardrobe after this. Perfect. Rebecca, it's been lovely having you here.
Such a pleasure. Absolutely. Thank you for the invitation. I'm really appreciative.
Likewise. I'm really glad you could come here. I think we're going to help so many people.
Good. All right, my dear. Enjoy your evening.
You too. I'll say good morning over there.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye, TJ.
Thanks.